Hello, gang. How you doing tonight? Welcome to James C. Starke Radio. And with me tonight, this is crazy. I don't even know how to say this. I've got Miss Megan from Critical Miss. She is Critical Miss Megan, Critical Miss. I don't know even how to say this. Miss Megan, Critical. How are you doing tonight, honey? Welcome to the show.
I'm really good, Jim. Thank you so much for having me.
It's been so long since I've been trying to get you on here. You're a busy lady, and it's great. But I have to say this. How was the most crazy, foul-mouthed female vocalist of Arizona doing tonight?
Pretty good. I got a lot of really awesome shows in the lineup, and I'm halfway through a new album, and I've got a tour lined up in June, so things are just kicking ass right now. I'm really excited about it, and I don't know, I've been writing a lot of new songs, and it feels like I'm really growing as an artist these days, and it's a good phase for me.
I love watching you play live. You're so much fun, and you're so outspoken, and your lyrics are just over the top, man. You were crazy. How did you get started in all this?
Well, I've been playing piano and doing music for most of my life, like since I was like 4, but guitar was fairly recent, and I don't know, I was just kind of going through like a, dark time, post-divorce, all that stuff, things like that, and there was just a post that was like, hey, guitar lessons, and I decided to take one, and it just stuck. It was like finding that thing.
From there.
Yeah. It's I never wanted to do anything after that.
Now, when you started off with piano and everything, how did you get your start? Were your parents musicians, or did they push you into it, or was it just something you wanted to do? Like, how old were you when you started?
So my grandmother was a church organist for a Lutheran church.
Man, that's right there is an awesome lyric right there.
4 or 5 years old, I would walk from school, or walk from she lived down the street, I would walk over and take piano lessons with my grandmother. And then I just stuck with it, and my parents were really big on their kids learning instruments and things like that, so they're a little bit musical, and I don't know, I've got a lot of musicians in the family scattered about. It's not.
Are you from Arizona here originally?
I moved around a lot as a kid, and then ended up in Las Vegas, but like the really deserty part of Las Vegas.
Okay.
So and then I went to college in Flagstaff, and then came down to Phoenix, and now here I am.
That's so cool.
Sticking in the desert.
I was going to ask you one of your favorite hometown memories there, but yeah, I think grandma teaching you is probably one of the best ones, huh?
Yeah, that was good.
That's pretty cool, though.
She was one of the most gigging musicians I've ever met, if you think about it.
How do you come up? How did I do this? You started off with grandma, the church organist, and I'm sure she wasn't teaching you songs you're playing now. I'm sure you had a different gospel background. How did you go from that and transform into what you're playing now? Because it is like night and day. Because you hit some awesome stuff now. Totally. I don't even know like what to call it. It's like beyond. It's like a total. It's Critical Miss. It's exactly what it is. You have a whole different genre. You combine a lot of different things into this. It's like a folk punk, but the attitude is so. I don't know. It's crazy. You guys got to check this out. We'll tell you where to look at it in a second here, but I want to hear this. How did you go from the gospel kid to the I don't know, outspoken one?
I guess okay, it didn't seem that weird after someone asked me about what artists did you listen to growing up, and it was always like the people that came to mind were people like that my mom and my sisters were listening to, that were like women with guitars, like Patsy Cline and Alanis Morissette and Sheryl Crow, Liz Fair, like there was a lot of that in our house growing up, and those were always women that didn't look like any other pop star on stage. They were always singing about things that you wouldn't ever hear Britney singing about, that stuff.
Sure.
And they were singing about stuff that made you uncomfortable, that wasn't the norm. They were dressing in ways that weren't normal for, performing women, and it doesn't seem weird now that I think about it, that I'm going up and doing that, but, times have changed, and things are a little more, foul and open, and you can go up on stage and sing about getting your vagina licked and getting blackout drunk, and it's just another Saturday night. I guess I'm lucky to be in the right time for that, but you know, a lot of it comes from being a big fan of bands like, you know, the Vandals and Guttermouth, and they have just like disgusting lyrics or, you know, offensively, you know, and you know, when it came to songwriting, why can't I write about one night stands?
This is great. Any G.G. Allen influence? I just have to ask. I mean, you're not that bad, but I'm just saying you do have a little twinkle in your eye sometimes when it comes to several lyrics.
I mean, I think that considering that artists like G.G. Allen have been so offensive and so, you know, like out there and just not afraid to go up on stage and just, you know, sing about stuff that's off topic or taboo or, you know, things like that. You know, I think he paved a good path for people like me to come up and sing about dirty stuff. But, you know,
he paved quite a few different paths. I would say, yeah, a couple maybe good ones for you and some bad ones. But he definitely was different. He was the definite rebel. He
was a good example of how not to be an asshole, though. I mean, like,
there you go. Yeah,
like, you can be gross and you can be offensive and you can sing about, you know, things. You can sing about stuff that makes people uncomfortable, but like, you don't have to be a fucking dick about it, you know?
Right?
Like,
Right.
Like, we're all just having fun.
What's tell me some of your immediate goals coming up. You got some new music coming up?
Yes, I just released a new single called Die Mad.
We're really quick before we even get into that. Where can we find your stuff really quick?
I'm all over the internet: Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play. I'm on the Amazon thing. I'm on something called Dweezer. I'll figure that one out one day. And it'll be released on YouTube.
And we find that under Critical Miss.
Critical Miss, yes.
Good deal. Now, you know what? I did notice something, that there's a video game or something came out called Critical Miss. So you guys make sure when you type this in, it's The Critical Miss or something. I just saw this, but it's The Critical Miss. But they are using just Critical Miss. Make sure that you find Megan, see her face, or something. You can definitely tell the difference, okay? But I just noticed this, okay? So, you know, just letting everybody know. I don't want them to be sidetracked and see, is she writing video game music? Because it's not the same thing. It's actually, the game is and this is Megan, Critical Miss. So we have this, okay? Well, you were the first one there, so there might be something down the road you got to deal with.
Critical Miss is actually a Dungeons and Dragons term.
Tell us about it a little bit.
So I am actually a huge nerd. Like I've been in the IT field for like 14 years and played D&D in college, D&D in college instead of going to keg parties. I don't know. And in Dungeons and Dragons, you roll dice to see how successful you are, what action you're trying to achieve.
Oh, I was a geek. I totally get you. I totally get you.
When you roll the dice and you roll a 20, you know, it's a natural, it means you succeed in the best way possible. Whatever
That's
you're trying
the biggest
to do,
number.
you do it in the best way. You're trying to slay that dragon goes down. But if you roll a 1, it's a critical miss, and it's pretty much the opposite. It's the biggest failure.
You're sucking it up big time. I know.
Yeah, like you go to slay the dragon and you trip over a rock and fall off a cliff instead. Like it is just you fucked up. You failed. So.
I'm sorry I sidetracked you, but I want everybody to know about that. So tell me about the new one now.
Released a new single called Die Mad, because just sometimes there's people who are never going to be happy no matter what you do.
No, you're right.
And I'm halfway through a new album and writing some new songs, so I'm excited for that. I need another like drinking anthem because Blackout, you know, this was one of my favorites.
I know. First time I heard that when I was dying, I was like, I was relating, but I was dying. Back in the day, I was pretty good at that. What on YouTube, our tunes. I'm drawing a blank for some reason. My favorite, the black and white one, Gavin Donnelly.
Oh, Soundphoria.
Soundphoria filmed that one for you. What's the name of that one?
Crazy From You.
Crazy From You. Yes. Yeah. Okay. It is just. I mean, just watching it. He captured. It's in black and white. He captured like.
Well, we got a couple
sweet,
color scenes.
But the whole. I don't know. It's like a sweet sickness almost. You know, it's like you watch it. It sucks you in, but it gives you this uncomfortable feeling, but you can't get away from it. Like how did you guys pull that off? I mean, you can't look away from that thing.
That was a remarkable effort on Gavin's part, and just me preparing like a maniac for 6 weeks beforehand. Just there was nothing in that house that hadn't had a checklist before. You know, like I set up all the sets, and then Gavin came in and he he took his time to light everything and make sure that everything was set up and going to be framed and look exactly how I wanted it. And then we spent a whole day shooting that. We had 7 different locations. We were shooting from like 10 a.m. to, oh goodness, like 10 p.m. Yeah, it was crazy. I don't know how he did it. He was so professional the entire time, and it turned out, like, even things that I mentioned that I wanted that I wasn't able to get, like, he somehow managed to achieve. Like,
yeah, he gets that. He captures those moments. He's amazing with that stuff. And
working with him was just so awesome. I want him for my video for lip service. Yes, so I gotta.
And he's a good New York guy. You know, he's got the attitude.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. And Gavin, if you're listening, you left your violet lamp at my house, so come get that. And, you know, big thanks to, like, Electric Bat Studio and Yucca Tap Room that let me film in there, and the Feisty Ferret who let me film there. And we raided a public park next to what looked like a wedding. So thanks to them for not calling the cops, I guess. I don't know. It was a big effort. So just thanks to everyone involved.
And that's just one video.
Yeah.
And you have quite a few out there. Tell us about what's the titles of the other ones. I was raping all of them today. That was cool. But when I first met you, I went through all of them, and I just watched them over and over again. And today I went through like a mess of them, thinking just to kind of catch up again, you know. And I was like, man, I didn't miss a beat. They still freak me out. The lyrics still got me, and like I know most of them by heart, but I can never get the freaking. I can never remember the title. That's my issue. You guys all know me. I'm weird. I don't have a memory left anymore. But tell us the other ones that you have on there.
Well, I've got songs like Lip Service,
That's the other one, and that one's foul as hell.
That was actually the first song I ever wrote, start to finish.
You got a lot off your chest in that song.
Yeah. I started dating as an adult for the first time when I was, like, turning 27. Like, it was so weird. Like,
no, wait, what's the difference of dating as a teenager and dating as an adult? Just because you said you were dating as an adult. Is it your first time dating an adult? No, I'm kidding.
God, I'm so happy to never have to take formal dance pictures ever again. I don't ever want to wear a prom dress, or I don't want to go to a freaking homecoming ever again. Like, I mean, thanks to my high school boyfriend for taking me to all those and showing me a really good time, but if I never had to pose in front of a tropical beach background ever again, and I'd be so happy. Be so happy.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, no, the weird thing...
So that's lip service. So yeah, tell us what was going on with that.
You know, it was just weird because there's this, you know, generation of dudes that seem to be hell-bent on promising you the moon, you know, until they get you in bed, and then they just ghost. And it just seemed to be a recurring theme, and it was just weird to hear about, you know, like, if you actually listen to what some of these dudes are saying, knowing that, like, they wouldn't call you back if they got paid for it, you know? Like, you know, they had no plans, you know, they don't give a fuck. They're not gonna, you're not even in their phone under your name, you know? It's some sort of, like, physical characteristic, and they would just sit there and promise to, like, take you to cabins and introduce you to moms and, like, fly you to play, like, it's just shit that comes out of their mouth. And the thing is that, you know, sometimes you're not looking for love as a woman. You are just looking for something to cure the lonely nights, you know? So you don't give a shit at some point. You're just like, keep talking.
Why would you give a shit? But then sometimes
and it's just like, can you just shut up and, like, move downward and
let me ask
put
you
that
something.
time to better use?
How the guys have gone through that kind of thing. Do you girls have that same kind of attitude sometimes with the men? Like, you're not going to call them back either. That's how you're going to do that night and then take off. I mean, oh, see, now she's smiling, but... Our peanut gallery over here is giving me the finger, but this one's smiling, so I'm kind of stuck in the middle of this one.
Yeah, I guess it's true. Yeah, that's not just a characteristic of women, or just of men, but
Hamana.
I don't know. I also just think that we're not fully comfortable with our sexualities. Just like we're not fully comfortable coming out and being like, you know, like, I really respect you as a person, but I just really want to get laid, you know, and there's just not a good way to do that that's respectful or not offensive or doesn't make someone feel used a lot of the times, and that's unfortunate. I'm not saying that people should be okay with that. I just, there's just some people that would probably benefit from being more honest about their intentions instead of just straight up promising to like fly you to Alaska or take you to Disneyland when you just met me 3 hours ago. I do not actually care. Wasn't gonna go home with you.
The whole thing.
You're not taking me anywhere.
I love it. Oh my gosh. I told you guys, you can talk about anything. Miss Megan, you probably got one of the most open minds and fearless when you're on stage. Tell me any lyrics you've ever written that you regretted after you put them out there, said like anything really horrible. I mean, none of your lyrics are horrible. I can't say that. You're just blunt, brutally honest about everything, and you just say what we're thinking, or half the people that us unmorals are thinking. But so definitely nothing we're going to hear in church. But when we're at the Timeout Lounge or at the Rebel Lounge or at fun places like that we can punk out, man, that's the norm. But you take it to a whole different level. But you really you're speaking for a whole different mass, like. I know you're thinking there's a list going down in front of you, like there's a bunch of them. But a good one, okay.
Only one. If I didn't want to say it in front of the world, I wouldn't say it on stage. I am the only person responsible for what comes out of my mouth. And if you're gonna say shit, then I gotta realize that it's not gonna go over well. I'm not for everybody.
Right.
I'm never gonna be for everybody, and if I get stressed out about the people who fucking hate me, then
you can never do that.
I'm gonna have no time for anything else. So, it's. But there was just one, and it was so I go by the stage name because my real name is an unusual spelling of Megan, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
But
it is. It's really cool though.
I didn't get tagged in anything for like the first.
Well, no, how to spell it.
And I felt bad because my dad came to see me for the first time, and he was so supportive.
Dad in the crowd, and that's when it comes out.
And he was so he was so supportive.
Okay.
And he had listened to my album, and he made me custom guitar picks with my album cover on them. Like,
Sweet.
How cool was that? So he showed up to see me live for the first time, and I cracked the joke that I go by Critical Miss because my first name is too hard to spell. And I asked him if he was, after the show, if he was okay with everything, and he said, maybe the hard to spell joke was a little much. And I realized, my dad was very proud of my name. And that was, I think, the only time I regretted saying that particular thing on stage. But, everything else,
okay, that was an innocent one. Yeah, that was cool. Okay. Good. All right.
Let's think about death and drinking.
I was expecting a lot worse.
Oh,
no. See, that's what kills me about you, because the stuff that does come out, you're not embarrassed about any of it. I love it. No. Some of your favorite lyrics. What's your favorite verse you've ever written? Give us 4 lines of something. Sing it for us a little bit.
And I won't lose a wink of sleep or shed a single tear. And I don't give a single shit if you hate me for years. I think you've said enough, but I've got one more thing to add. Maybe to someone else I'll be the best they've ever had.
Keep going.
So die mad.
There you go. Oh man, I got to give it to you. You're really staying in control. That was really a nice one there compared to what you really can come off. You weren't licking nothing. You weren't telling anybody to lick anything on that one, or telling them to put their face in between whose legs and that. That's cool. That's one thing that you do approach it with the beautiful sound and the way that you bring us right into this story. I remember the first time I heard you, I was literally leaning forward. You guys that are watching over here, you test because you're with me. I was leaning forward, listening. You were drawing me right in, and then wham. You nailed me with that curveball, but it was so brutally honest. I couldn't take it. I just leaned right back in on the rest of it. It was great. Oh, man. All right, so tell me, sweetie. We're bouncing all over tonight because that's how we roll. One of my favorite jokes is how many punctures and metalheads does it take to screw in a light bulb?
Maybe.
None, because we embrace the darkness.
Yeah.
I'm working on them, you guys. Come on, I'm not a comedian. Y'all know that. All right, so let's get on to my favorite bit. Favorite horror stories. Not horror stories, but I know you've toured. Tell me a little bit about it. First of all, how did you wind up being able to tour? How did you get into the tour to begin with?
This other local band named Shamehole which is excellent band. Check them out. They're on Spotify and all the same things, and they play locally too. And I were, kind of coming up around the same time, and we, we thought it would be fun to go on tour with each other, and we booked this really sick tour going from California to Vegas to Flagstaff to Phoenix to Tucson, and it was cool going on tour with people that I knew super well and were close to, and they made it easy, and
becomes like family out there.
Yeah,
that's who you have to depend on.
Yeah. And it was really neat to kind of go on this really crazy road trip with my friends and see these places that I would have never gone to in a million years on just like a regular vacation.
Yeah, right.
And I mean, luckily, nothing too crazy happened. There was where was it, in Pacifica? There's this really awesome venue called Winter's Tavern. If you haven't played there, you need to. I recommend all bands to go check it out.
Where's this at? Tell everybody exactly
Pacifica,
where's that.
California.
Okay.
Winter's Tavern. It was. It's got a neat little apartment above with all the graffiti, and it's the coolest place to stay. And,
awesome.
And it's in this teeny little town, and the beach is nearby, and we got just drunk and decided to go to the beach and climb down these cliffs to get to the sand.
This already sounds awesome.
The dark, and it's cold, and there's no one on there, and it's not like a beach you go to. Like we're climbing over a barricade and like doing rocks, and we made it down there. But as we were climbing over that barricade, what we thought was an RV had like turned its lights on, and we're like, okay, like they just turned the lights on, whatever. So we're climbing down, and we're just drunk and having a good time on the beach and playing in the sand, and we drunkenly climb back up. And it was an ambulance that was turning on its lights in case we got lost or drifted up to
they had to drag you out. They're already there waiting.
Yeah.
Like everybody does. It's like,
So
that's a Saturday night out there, huh? Right?
Yeah,
The ambulance just waits. Nobody has to come. They're already there ahead of time.
Yeah, so we're just being watched by these
man,
paramedics.
guys, just so you hear this, okay? Not only is she crazy and outspoken and writes about all kinds of vagina shit, but she's this adventurous. And she hangs out in places that the ambulance actually waits for her to show up. This is great. This is great. But you guys got up there. Did you let them down though?
No, we were all fine and made it back in one piece. But
That's
I
good.
could definitely see how others did not. So
yeah, well, that's why they're there. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like those warnings, like do not stick an orifice.
Right.
Like a curling iron thing. It's only there because it's happened. They didn't start that way. The ambulance just didn't guess, right? They'd fallen off of there before that orifice. So your recent album, I know we're all over. You recorded at 122 Studios.
Yeah, Prolapse and 122 recordings. Yeah.
How'd it go?
Honestly,
it sounds great, man. How was it? What was the experience?
It was one of the luckiest things to ever come across in my life. On my third show, I was playing at Rip's Bar, the third time I'd ever played in front of anyone. And then after I got off stage...
By the way, Rips is a really cool place, you guys.
Yeah,
check it out
Rips
right here in
amazing.
Phoenix. Or Arizona, I'm sorry. It's Tempe, right, Rips?
It's in Central. It's on 16th and Thomas.
Shit, you guys look it up, man. Everything is in Phoenix to me. It's just like one big thing. I'm sorry, but go ahead. Tempe, Mesa, Phoenix, blah, blah.
Yeah, this guy handed me his card and he was like, "Come record with me," and I was like, "That's not freaking gonna ever happen. It's my third show. Why would I ever do that?" Right. And then I played more shows at Rips, and the same guy was like, "When are you gonna hit me up?" And it turns out he had a really amazing, state-of-the-art studio, and he's a freaking amazing engineer, and he's the guitarist when I play full band.
Let me stop you really quick, because you just pointed out something, okay? Back in the day, and still today, there's a lot of swindlers, and there's this and that, and a lot of people try to take advantage of you. But here's the thing. Anybody that walks up to you on your first show, second show, third show, you didn't just get up and practice that day of your first show. You did put some heart and soul into it. You may kick ass on that show, this and that. Someone may see you, okay? Our first reaction as musicians, I am one. I know how this goes. Some guy walks right up to you, "Hey, let me record you," and you're thinking, what the hell are you talking about? Yeah. For some reason, though, and I don't know why, but for some reason it is just automatically ingrained in us. Like we have some fucking stupid wall we put up. Like, no, man, you're a weirdo. Get away from me. It's like there might be an opportunity right there for us, and why do we always do that? I mean, it's like here's this guy. Why does this creep want to record me? Why do we even ask that? Don't we want to say yes? You know what I mean? But at the same time, it might be a creepo too. But I'm just saying, anytime you get that opportunity, make the call, because you never know. You know, go there with a bunch of friends in case if you think it's a shady situation, but you never know, because the same guy, this is the point I'm getting at, hunted you down and kept giving you that card until you went in there, and then look what happened.
Yeah.
It turned out great, you know?
Well, to be fair, he wasn't a creep.
I didn't mean to get all freaky there.
So,
I just wanted to make that hard point, because I know it can go both ways, but that's one of those examples. Don't turn down any opportunities.
It is really important to protect yourself and be safe and not go anywhere that's like super sketchy. And honestly, if you're looking to record, there are, I'm going to say, hundreds of local studios that would be happy to do it for you at an affordable rate. Just, you know, and then there's going to be swindlers that try and get 10 grand out of you, or will record 90% of your album and hold it hostage.
That's the other thing too.
Yeah.
Never have to put something up like that. If somebody's going to keep approaching you and they want to record you, I'm telling you guys that they're there to deal with you. They're gonna put some money up for you too, and even help you do it. Watch the swindlers and this and that. But what I was trying to get back to before is just, for some reason, I think that's because we've been swindled so many times. But we have this. We are so, as artists, we are so like, this is our baby.
Yeah.
We don't want anyone to hurt it, but always, you know, like I said, grab a posse if you think it's shady. Just go check it out, you know?
Yeah.
But if it's good, it's good. It
Check
worked out for you.
Yeah. Don't
Hopefully
give
it works out
anyone
for
your
everyone.
credit card information, things
No,
like that.
no.
But I mean, it wasn't that he was like creepy about it. He was, you know, professional.
It was just so fast.
It was so fast. It was my third show, and I was like, no, there's no possible way. Like, I was getting used to the idea that there would be a fourth show. The idea of an album was really far away, but honestly, I've been given grief over my lack of experience, and like, I get it, dude, but like,
well, when I first heard you, if my studio wasn't underwater at that time, I would have approached you the very first time I saw you.
Thank you. And
you know, it was like this, so I can see where he was coming from.
if I limit myself based on how long I've been doing something or haven't been doing something, then whose standard am I trying to like meet up to? Like, are we allowed to record albums after 5 years? Are we allowed to record albums after 10 years? Do we like, what's the rule?
That's what I'm getting at. You may have spent 10 years at home before you even get on that stage. You may be totally polished in this and that. You may have spent 10 weeks, but if he saw something in you that first night or third night or whatever you went out there, and someone's handing you that card, it's worth the call.
Yeah.
You know?
And
it's worth it. You have to.
Cool to see that all these like crazy off the wall things, like I want to make an album, I want to go on tour, I want to make another album, I want to throw a show, I want to, you know, play in fest, I want all these things that like even just like 5-10 years ago would have seemed like an absolute impossibility. You know, the only thing that's stopping me is me. No one so far has come up and been like, sorry, you can't do that. Fuck you. You need to stop.
Another great point. I swear, you need to write a book on this. The only person stopping you is you.
Yeah. And fuck me. I'll just record it anyway.
Do you guys hear what she's saying? Do you guys hear that? You're the only one that can stop yourself. This girl is fearless. I'm telling you. She is a mighty warrior, this girl. She doesn't put up with anything, man. And, you know, give me some. There we go. I'm telling you. I'm so impressed. Now, not only do you do this, you do a bunch of crazy stuff. God, I can't wait to get to the story. I'm dying to ask you. I'm just hinting now, but you guys, I dug up something about a story that happened that is really crazy. Probably one of the most embarrassing things that can happen to a musician. But I was going to save this for later, but man, I can't help it. And I already got her all juiced up.
Okay.
I don't know, guys. What do you think? Call in now and let me know. No, I'm kidding. All right. Let's throw it out there because you do. You're not just a musician. You do other things too on the side. I want to get to that too. But this story though, man, I can go with both of them. Oh, hell with it. Let's do it. All right, you guys. This is what I like to call the delivery woman story. That was just. That's it. If you guys can come up with a great meme for this or a great title, even a goofy jingle for this would be wonderful for the next delivery person, or give it to Domino's or something, but or Amazon, wherever it came from. But please, Miss Megan, you got to tell everybody. I know I'm putting you on the spot. She's turning red. She's giving me the finger and everything here. This is great, but I got her on this one. Go ahead. Tell us your big blaze of glory right here.
Okay, so I'm sitting at home. I'm waiting for a delivery. And, knock on the door, and I open it, and it's a perfectly,
Now
nice
wait,
woman.
before I tell you this, before we even get into this, I forgot to mention that overnight, Megan went from like, okay, I played a couple shows, and all of a sudden I had some fans, and then I did a couple more things, and then I jumped in a couple bigger shows, and I had all these crazy fans suddenly, but it still seemed like no one knew me. But then a delivery person showed up, so keep going here. This is great.
I mean, I've always kind of fantasized about the first time that I would be recognized outside of a show. Like, I mean, I've always kind of like, I mean, I think if you're a musician and you're hoping to kind of...
Come on, we love it. We love when someone comes up and says, hey, I recognize you. Come on, we know that. I know. Come on, let's be real.
I can't say I don't
love
have an ego. No one can, right?
No, come on, we're horrible. So, let's be real, come on.
So I open the door, and she's like, you look familiar.
Oh my God!
She didn't like freak out. You look
Not
familiar.
yet.
And I'm like, yeah? And she goes, do you do stuff like around here? And I'm like, yeah. She goes,
are you local?
are you Critical Miss?
Oh!
And like, I immediately started freaking out. Every little like molecule in my body is like, oh my God.
There's a fan at my front door, my God!
It's happening. It's happening. So I had no idea how to respond, except for I managed to choke out something like, do you listen to my music? And she goes,
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Wait, I think I have it. Wait. I think that was the sound effect we wanted. Now tell us what happened, because this is the doozy, baby. Tune in, gang. Listen close. Here we go. Do you listen to my music? Are you my fan?
no. My husband's a fan. Gives me the biggest stink face you've ever seen in the whole fucking world, and immediately just turns off and walks away. I think I was supposed to sign something, and I didn't. She just fucking turned around and walked. I have no idea who she was. I have no idea her husband.
Oh my God, the biggest fuck you ever got. But But how about it though? You got to take that as a compliment too. You pissed off her husband's wife. I mean, she puts away, but I mean, I didn't put it that way. But how cool is that? Someone's like, "Hey, that's great." I had somebody walk up to me one time. "Hey, aren't you Jim Starke?" It's like 1998 or something. I'm like, "Yeah, man, nice to meet you, dude. You suck." I was like, he just left. I was like, "Whoa,
what the hell?"
Thanks, man. Oh man, it killed me. But tell me that didn't floor you. That's the greatest damn thing.
I've always fantasized about that happening, and like I never in my life thought it would end with like that. Just this the like dirtiest look I think I've ever gotten. I've never had I've had some weird people show up at my front door. Okay, I've had even one time I came home. I lived with my guitar player one time in a band way back in the 80s, and we had pulled in from a show in my car, and there was people in the bed of this truck partying, waiting for us to get home from the show that had beat us there and figured out where we lived. I mean, all kinds of strange things have happened. 3 a.m, people are knocking on your window to come on and they, is the party here? Can I just snuggle? Bullshit, weird stuff. But I've never had someone come to my door and give me something like that. But, I would have taken it as a compliment. It's like, really? I pissed you off that bad because your husband takes me? You want to take me? That is so... I mean, come on, man. How about it? We're always praying for... I've never answered the door with someone there. I've always been I had something there or found somebody. But no shit. You're like, wow, they came to my front door to just see me, critical miss. And you're lucky she didn't have the shotgun. I mean, it's kind of like rolling a 1 on getting recognized in public.
There you go. That 20 went right back. And it
was the worst possible outcome on that one.
She was like the worst dungeon master ever you can be dealing with. I mean, she threw it. Oh, man.
Whoever you are, I'm sorry. Whoever your husband are, shame on you.
What did she do? What was the package?
Beer.
Nice. If she would have, what she really screwed up on? Because if she would have sat there and really worked it, and you guys are great at this. You women, you guys, not being sexist, but you women know how to work this. And you know where I'm going here. If she would have sold that on you, you would have given her a $100 tip by the time she was gone. Your biggest fan in the world, you would have been like, oh my God, yeah, here you go. You can pay it back. But you know what I mean? She was like,
Yeah.
So she didn't get nothing. She just got the price. Oh my God, that's great. All right, so let's get to the next thing here.
I'm not for everyone.
No, but I'm telling you, but you are for a lot. Tell us about the punk rock speed matching thing you've got going. It's like a speed dating thing that's...
Yeah. So,
your anniversary coming up on doing this, setting people up and
it already passed. We are now year 2, starting on February 12th.
Plus month. Yeah,
is
okay.
our
13th.
It's at the Grid Games and Growlers, which is
Say that again.
The Grid Games and Growlers.
Cool.
It's a bar with an arcade, full stage.
Where's that located?
Mesa.
Crossroads, maybe?
525 East Gilbert Road.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, cool, very good.
We host it monthly on the second Wednesday of every month. I host it with Vic, the guitarist from Birth of Monsters, one of my absolute favorite local bands.
He's got some tread in him, man.
You know,
He's an awesome player.
I wouldn't be here without Birth of Monsters because they were there on my first open mic night and they saw me play and they put me on so many shows and they messaged so many people
they got a cool sound
just
too.
put Critical Miss on. Trust me. Yeah, no, I know. She's acoustic. Put her on the punk show. It's fine. Just do it. I don't know if I would be anywhere near it if it wasn't for those guys. So check out Birth of Monsters for fucking sure. But Vic and I host it every month. We've hosted it for a year now. We've got Nothing at All and Rage in Peace on the next one. We do a local band at 8 p.m. full set. And then we do a 1-hour session of speed matching. It's like speed dating, but you talk to everyone. So everyone who signs up, if there's 20 people who sign up, you'll have 19 conversations. And that way it's...
Oh, you guys, when she just said we have nothing at all, she didn't mean they have nothing at all going on there. That's the band.
The band.
Nothing at all.
Add all. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
ADD. Nothing ADD.
But it just sounded like nothing at all.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Right where you said it just hit me now. It replayed in my head. I was like, wait a minute. We did this for all these years. We have nothing at all.
Sorry.
That's the band. Yes.
Nothing at all. And the band ranges.
So say that again. You sign up for, you see 19 people for... You sign up for...
So everyone who signs up will talk to each other. So it doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl or gay or straight or in a relationship or just looking for musicians or just trying to meet new people or just...
Hey, as long as you're happy, the world's going around, you know?
I don't care what you do.
Oh, hell no.
I don't care why you're there. I just want it to be an environment where everyone can feel...
How much time do they have with each other?
4 minutes.
4 minutes. That's a lot. I mean, when you think about it, dead air on a radio station, that's a lot of time. You can go through a lot of... That's a song plus. You know, I mean, the top 40 song about 3 minutes and a half. Songs, real songs are a little bit longer. Sorry, guys, not top 40, but anyway. But that's, you're sitting through at least a song plus, and you're going to get right to the point. There's no beating around the bush. Here, you got to really get down with it. So, but 4 minutes is pretty good because I know they have the 30-second speed dating, the minute, the 2 minute, but you're 4 minutes. That's pretty cool. They go 19 people.
Well, I mean, if it's a higher amount, we might reduce it down to 3 minutes or whatever. But
okay, but you still, but that's still, I mean, that's pretty cool though. That's a long
to
time.
Introduce themselves and then at least a minute to talk, and then then it just changes over so everyone meets with each other.
No.
And it's totally optional too. So if you wanted to just see the show and not participate in the speed matching, that's fine too.
But the speed matching is cool for all the singles, man, and especially because it's open to everybody.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what your orientation is. That's totally cool.
Yeah.
Now here's the cool part. You run through. You don't have to pick anybody right off the bat. You can go do this, and then afterwards, everybody can stick around and mingle. So you can still go back and talk to 10 of the people you talked to before.
I'm not gonna police you.
Do your own thing, right? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so I want to let everybody know that. That's kind of cool. What's their I want to say the word hookup. That sounds like what's the match ratio? I mean, is it pretty good? You got a lot of people wind up with a date when they're leaving, or
it is rare when I don't have someone walk away with at least one match. It is super rare. And
have you ever had a night when nothing works out?
No, it's been remarkably good. You gotta say our worst night was September 11th, but I don't think a lot of people were wanting to go out,
right?
And find, yeah.
I'm sure.
So I mean, I feel like that I get a pass on that one. But.
Okay, I've got to ask this: you're speed dating for 4 minutes. Have you ever had a couple break into a total argument in that 4 minutes and start arguing or making a scene? They don't agree on anything. Have you ever had that?
Couples not participate that did definitely cause a scene. I did not.
That didn't participate, or they just being there, or they. I mean, I'm talking about here I go. You and me have our 4 minutes, and I go over here for my 4 minutes. Is there anybody sitting there talking to each other just totally went at it? Is there any an explosion that happened up yours, or I don't agree with you, or you voted for Obama and I didn't, or some crap in the past,
I mean, occasionally we'll get someone in there who tries to troll it, they're
okay.
they're like, I'm gonna go in and fuck shit up, but it's like it immediately, like, I don't know.
Yeah, you
it
catch
feels
that in a
weird.
heartbeat. Yeah, you're like, later, dude.
But I gotta say that the most difficulty I've had is that we've had some amazing burlesque dancers perform in between the bands, and we've had
Cool.
we've had 25, 26 different bands come through, and we've had a lot of dancers. And I gotta say, there are a lot of significant others who do not appreciate their band member significant other playing at a speed matching event with burlesque dancers.
I'm sure, yeah.
So I've had more than one pissed off spouse or girlfriend.
Well, it takes
boyfriend.
a special person to love an artist if you're not an artist.
I get yelled at in the parking lot by girlfriends a lot. I'm not gonna lie, it happens. I'm not sure why. It's like every other.
Oh, I know why. Yeah, because they think you're setting them up for something. They're just the entertainment.
Yeah.
They don't see it that way.
I don't. Yeah, I just.
It's
want
part
to
of a
play
show,
music.
you know.
Yeah.
Come on, you got to entertain.
Create an environment.
They just don't have
sexy, fun environment.
If they don't have enough self-confidence, and that's their problem, you know.
Every T3 shows, I get screamed at in the parking lot by a very unhappy person.
Well, then you're doing your job. You're actually you're getting somebody's worked up, you know. Okay, you've got.
Makes me really not want to book their band again ever
Well,
again.
I know, right?
So,
Yeah, I'll book you, but you're just not your wife. Yeah, she's not part of the band, please.
Yeah.
And no offense, you guys, because there's plenty of people that are wonderful matches with musicians and artists, but sometimes it's just not a good thing if you don't have talent. It's hard to love an artist. It just is. Very temperamental people, and we have to entertain and do what we have to do.
I mean,
it's only entertainment though. That's what you have to understand. It's just part of the show.
Couples are welcome to participate in speed matching as well. We've had couples participate, and it's kind of a fun thing. So, like,
hey, each their own, man.
I'm always happy to have significant others come down, but like, please stop yelling at me in the parking lot.
We'll have to get you escorts to get you back to your car. All right, so tell me, you've got.
But it's second Wednesday of every month.
Okay, so you do all this fun loving stuff, but now we're going to do something special on Valentine's Day this year. You were invited to play at Time Out Lounge with the St. Valentine's Day Massacre show, which is kind of like an anti-love song show, pretty much. It's like a whole different twist on Valentine's. And it's not about, like, don't come out there because like you hate everybody. You still bring your date, have fun. It's just a funny twist on Valentine's Day. Love stinks, man.
Not everything needs to be pink and heart-shaped.
Who's throwing that one together again? That's Brian Mogul who did that.
Mogul, yes. And one of the biggest supporters of the local scene.
Man, how about it? Best promoter in your band, and he's not in your band. I always say that. It's so funny. I say it to everybody. He's like the best promoter for everybody. If you're in a show, he makes a flyer for everybody in that show, a promo for everybody in that show. 9 videos, 12... the coolest stuff too. He really comes up with
if we had 10 more promoters like Brian, we'd have a scene on par with LA. Like, absolutely. It's crazy how much work he does and how much care he puts into his shows.
The funniest thing about it is he's not even a promoter. He's a musician. He just does that on the side to have fun because he loves us.
Well, that makes him a promoter. He can be both.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But I mean, he doesn't consider himself that way.
I think more musicians should be promoters and book their own shows.
But that's so cool. We have flyers. What was there? He's playing. Where's our list for this? All right, so who else is on that roster? We got. So
first off, it starts off with free pizza at 8:15, which is excellent.
Oh, every time he does a show too, Jennifer Wharton also participates and always brings us food and feeds everybody from nachos to tacos, and this time it's pizza.
Yeah,
they're breaking it up. It'll probably be heart shaped too.
So at Time Out Lounge on February 14th, we're gonna have Michael Clayton, Rocket Stedman, The Posters, Videodyssey. Violator, then I'll be on with the fantastic Lars Petrini going in between bands.
He's a character. I love Lars.
Lars is awesome.
Everybody on this list is awesome. They're all characters. They all have something to say. I love it.
Yeah, dude, I love playing with the Posters. If you haven't checked out the Posters,
we just worked together a couple weeks ago. It was like, I think I got a double dose of them like 2 weekends in a row. They're cool dudes. They drive me up a wall though because they're like children. You have to hoard them like chickens when they're going to play a show. They're so damn excited about everything. They're running everywhere. No, really. They're so hyped up in it. They're a blast. I love them. That's a compliment.
I'm playing with them on March 5th at Yucca Tap Room. So I'm excited with my side band Glam Slam, or with my other project. And it's embarrassing and nothing new to y'all.
There you go. I knew they were coming up again. You guys know that's the band. All right. Now, I got some really cool questions now. We've covered a lot of stuff, but I want to get like in this little brain of yours a little bit. When these are the fun questions. How do you prepare for a show? Now I'm going to back up. I'm going to start a week back, okay? Because we're going to build toward this, okay? So we've got 7 days out. You've been practicing for a while, but now we're 7 days out, okay? So on day 7, what's happening? Set up the list.
Let's see here.
Because we're going to jump. We're not going to do every day. We're going to jump a bunch of days.
I try to go with the physical equipment first, making sure I have all my cables, batteries, guitar strings, physical equipment. Because if I don't have my guitar, it's just a really weird acapella act.
Yeah, I was going to say, standing there just throwing your hands in the air and faking it. It's going to be weird. Yeah.
Then I try to... I used to make a set list for every single show, but what I've done instead is just write down songs that I know very, very well, that I've practiced, that I'm up on. Mm-hmm. And that way, when I'm up there playing, I can kind of gauge how the crowd is feeling or the thing of the venue and back off of certain songs or really pump up some things, you know. So
now, say we're a couple days in now. Do you have this set list in mind, or are you going to wait? Do you have a couple set, like you just said, you're going to kind of fill out the crowd? Is the set list ready when you go up there, like permanent with a couple changes here and there, or you just because every time I see you, I don't see a set list on stage. I don't see a piece of paper or nothing up there.
I have a list of all the songs I'm good at playing at the moment.
And they're right up in the brain.
Yeah, no, they're.
Oh, are they? Okay, you hide them well because I never see them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have stole it. Yeah, I would have had you sign to steal it.
They get stolen quite a bit.
Okay, but you'll change that. So so you're actually not going to solidify, but you have like an idea.
Yeah, because sometimes I'll walk into a place where they clearly did not listen to me before booking me.
Right.
And if I want to get paid...
The owner's like, what the... shit, what did I do?
Yeah.
But all he's got to do is give you 5 minutes and the crowd's into it, man. It doesn't matter.
That's not always true.
Well, if you're playing like at the point, or, you're up on the mountain and you're at Wrigley Mansion, I could see that one. But, okay, you got to pick your battles, sister. Come on.
So there'll be certain times where maybe stay away from...
That's on them.
Like the songs like "Fuck You, I Don't Like You When You're Drunk." Or,
I love that fucking song, though. That... I died when you played that. First time I heard that was. You know what? Really, I know we're going down the thing, but give us some lyrics for that one. Sing it for us a little bit. Give me like a verse and stuff. I don't like when you're drunk. That one's great. Did I put you on the spot?
You're mean. You're as mean as could possibly be, and you set your target on me, and then you fire away. The next day, you don't remember a single thing. And you're not sorry for anything, and you don't care that I feel this way. Enough is enough. You're always fucked up. Fuck you. I don't like you when you're drunk.
Thank you, darling. I love that song. But you set that up so pretty, and I remember sitting there the first time I heard that one too, at the Timeout Lounge, as a matter of fact. And I wasn't even sitting in the booth. I was on the bar stool on those tall tables there, on that stool. And I'm like all getting into it. I think you even opened with that. And that just comes out of you. Like, you're all pretty and like you're smiling and everything. That first part, it sounds like, okay, I get it. She's having a little issue. And then, fuck you. And I was like, oh man. And then the whole drunk thing, oh god, that was great. Okay, so now we're getting closer to the show.
We can all relate to it though.
I know, it was cool. But everybody can relate with that. Everybody's had that situation. But you like I said, you sing and say what everybody wants to. And they just don't want to yell it out in public. But you're like that voice for everybody with that. And you really cover a lot of issues that we don't want to cover. You know what I mean? And it just comes out of you naturally. Like, you don't even think about it. It's like, okay, that's just the norm. But there's other people like, damn, I wish I could say that.
There's a lot of love songs already, and there's a lot of songs about, I don't know, but there's not enough songs about, like, being functionally depressed or, like...
Well, that's where we depend on you.
Being in narcissistic relationships, things like that.
Okay, now here, we're back on our week. Now we're getting closer to the show. Okay, now we're like the day before the show. What's going through your head? 24 hours before the show.
Start taking,
Xanax or anything?
No.
I'm like kidding. That was a joke. You never do that. She's farthest thing from that.
Just making sure my voice is okay. Taking, allergy meds or things like that, or do I need to steam or whatever. But day of the show is really how I get in the the scene. Right? I do a shower beer. It just seemed right to make my album cover a shower beer based on that. That's my pre-show routine. And I listen to like 90s alternative music.
Okay.
2000s, like, I don't know, like Kings of Leon and Passion Pit, things like that.
Okay.
Because
okay, I was going to get you your ritual now. Like your pre-show ritual is my next question, so we're leading into that. Is that like your ritual, what you do?
Yeah. And it's because no one has ever wanted to hear Kings of Leon a cappella, ever. Like, no one's ever sat there and been like, the lead singer in Kings of Leon is one of the greatest singers in the entire fucking world. Right. But yet, they are selling out stadiums, and they are going on world tours, and he just sings like him, and no one else sounds like him.
Exactly.
And it's a good reminder that it's not just how, like, if you don't need to have the best voice, you need to have a voice. You don't need to be the best guitar player. You need to have a song, you know? You don't... Like, it's a good reminder that, like, when I was growing up, one of the most popular songs was about a plastic Barbie doll. Like, how bad could my songwriting really be, you know? Like, you know, this is accessible, and just because...
So that's... You're listening to that.
Yeah.
We're building up closer. Okay, now it's a couple minutes to the show. What's going through your mind right before showtime? What's the last thing in your mind before you hit that first chord?
I mean, I'm always really struck by, like, I cannot fucking believe that this is happening. I don't know. Like it's weird how that still... Does that still happen to you?
Absolutely. Well, I always tell everybody, when the butterflies die, it's time to change careers.
Like, this is the best
You have to
job
have that excitement.
Yeah.
You have to have a little bit of, ooh... It still happens all these years. Yes, it still happens to me every single show. But if I ever lose that excitement or those butterfly feelings, then I know it's time to quit because it's not fun anymore. You know,
being up on stage is the best antidepressant in the entire world for 30.
It's the best med. It is the best addiction. It's the best drug I've ever been on.
For 30 to 60 minutes, I have no bills. I have no debt. I have no ex-boyfriends. I have no problems.
The only problem is it wears off so quick. It's the fastest 30 minutes of your life, or the fastest 60 minutes of your set. You know what I mean? It goes by in a blur. Yeah. You get up there and you're nervous. It's like you're going into surgery and the doc's getting there and he's talking to you, and all of a sudden you just black out and you wake up in the recovery room. You know, you start the first chord, you go through this show, and all of a sudden it's ending. Yeah. You're like, damn, is that quick? Well, how do you relax after you're writing, after you're recording, after you're getting off stage? What do you do what's your downtime like? I know it's a dangerous place for people like us. We're artists, and downtime is not good. Quiet's not, we have that thing. But we do need our out. What's your out?
I have the best dog in the entire world. Critical pup.
Awesome.
He's my amazing 3-legged wonder dog. I spend 23 out of 24 hours of the day with him on average. I don't know. I watch a lot of TV shows. I don't know if that's, like, I usually have something always playing in the background with subtitles on, with the volume turned down. I don't know.
Yeah, something going. I have to have that extra stimulation going behind me, even if I'm focused on something else. I have to have a lot of things happening at once. I understand that totally.
But honestly, one of my favorite things is the hanging out with everyone after the show. I open so often, so I get to kick things off.
You get to kick it for the rest of the gig. You watch it build and watch it really get crazy. I dig that. That's cool. What's your... Before I get to this one, what kind of advice... I'm sorry, I can't think right now. I can't get the words out. What kind of advice would you give to someone starting off on your path of like music choice, like your genre?
Be someone people want to work with again. Like, fucking for real. Like, I get it. It's really easy.
Leave an impression, a good one.
Yeah, like, I get that it's not just about the music as much as we would like it to be. Our job is to bring people into venues and make venues money and to get people to see new bands, and we have a bigger job than going up on stage, you know? Right. You know, we have
that
a
is
much
part of the
bigger
job. Yes,
yeah.
we are entertainers first, but our job is, you're right, we've got to bring a crowd into some of these venues.
Obviously,
Absolutely.
Your heart should be in the music, but you know, if you are trying to get into this, you're going to be working with people, and acting like there can only be one band that wins is how you get out of this really quickly.
Right.
You know?
You've got to work together. There's the competition left in the 80s. You got to help each other.
Thousands of shows locally, you know, between all the venues. And if you're going to sit there and act like you are the only person that matters and the only band that matters, and you're going to make the venues regret booking you, and you're going to give the promoters hell, and you're going to you're going to talk shit about the bands. That's my favorite one. When they sit there, when you've just got someone that just will not stop talking shit about every other band they've ever worked with, and then they're very surprised when no one wants to work with them. And
it's funny because when they're doing that, they're not even in a band at that point because no one will freaking work with them. Yeah.
No one has to book me ever again. There is no one that is required to ever put me on another lineup for the rest of my life.
That's right. It's up to you to get it.
It's up to me to be someone they want on their lineups, and it doesn't end at the stage.
Well, it doesn't get more straightforward than that, man. That's perfect.
It's how you act. It's how you treat people.
Okay, here's the big one. What's the biggest struggle? What's your biggest struggle as an artist? Because you're a lyricist, a songwriter, all that. What's your biggest struggle with all this? I know it's a tough one. Because there's many, but what do you think your biggest one is? Answering fucking questions from you like this, Jim. Dick. Right? No, it's okay.
I guess a big struggle is I don't know, not it's when you write a song or when you're writing a song and you don't trust it yet, or it's not right, or no.
Are you your biggest struggle? Are you your biggest critic?
It's the writing a song and realizing it's not very good.
When you realize
do you do that? Like,
you think it's really something, and then you really get the feedback, and you're like, you know what? I hear it again.
Yeah, you think you're gonna nail it,
and you eat it.
Or you have this hook in your head, and you're trying to write. Like, it's weird to realize.
You know what? Sometimes you get the best hook in the world, but you just can't figure out what to put around it. Like, nothing freaking works. You got like the best chorus, the best freaking couple lines. Everyone's gonna remember this over and over. And no offense, but I swear sometimes I've heard some bands that's the only lyrics in the song is the hook.
Yeah.
Like the hip hop crowd and stuff like that. But that works for them when they're dancing and hitting it, in those raves, because that works. But it's like I can only hear it once or twice, because after that it's just that's all it is. But sometimes it's just I laugh because I'm thinking, man, why didn't I think of that? I couldn't think of anything else to put around the hook, so I just make the whole song the hook, and so does a dance song. But no, I hear you. Yeah, you can't. Yeah. It either doesn't come out the right way, or you wind up putting 3 different songs into the one. You still can't. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, you're all over with it, and that is a struggle with it. What do you see as a struggle, like when? How do we put this? Like, you're going through it and you find it. How do you like? I phrased that wrong. What the struggle? Like, how do you bend around it sometimes? Like, do you have like little tricks? Like, do you stop and like step back and say, okay, I hit a wall. I'll wait for a few minutes, listen to something maybe, or just go watch a soap opera for a while, get my my head off it. Maybe I can come back to the song and go back to it, or do you just like say forget it and let it sit for a year? Because I've done that before. I got so pissed that I couldn't do it, that I floored it and forgot about it, and on accident I found it 10 years later listening to old tapes. I'm thinking, what was I thinking? And then suddenly it came to me then. It was weird, but then the hook was too old, It's like, so you're like never happy. But do you ever find yourself doing that, and do you have ways to get through it?
I go to a show that I'm not playing.
There you go.
I go to a show that, my friends are going to be there, and I try to remember, because you go to a show and you're in a room full of people that you have something in common with, and there's really never another situation like that, outside of like work. Everyone who goes to your job works there, but
right. And you always see something different too that kind of inspires you too. And one question before we're going to wrap it up here in a few minutes, gang. But the one thing I did want to ask you is like your inspiration, the type of writer you are. Are you like the type that sits down and like forces it out 8 hours a day, or are you like more of an inspirational writer when the idea comes to you, or something happens in life inspires you to write the song then?
Very inspirational. Yeah.
I'm the same way. I can't sit down all day and do it. I know people that do though,
and I'm impressed with those people.
Yeah,
I wish I could do that.
But I have to be an inspiration. I have to write about something I know or something I can feel.
I will say, when I do get something that pops up to me, or pops into my head, or whatever, I will get like freaky tunnel vision for days until it's done, and then if I don't have anything after like a week, it just has to be like set aside, and it might come up later. But it's weird. Like when I have a song, I can't leave it like 60%. Like I will lose sleep. I will be that douchebag at a party that picks up the guitar and is like, "Hang on, guys, real quick, I gotta try something." Like it's like a dog with a bone, Jason. Yeah.
And
can't stop.
And you're right about the craziest things too. Like when they hit you, you're like, okay, that inspires me. And the thing that inspires you may not be what you write about, but that gives you an angle to do it. All right, you guys, thank you so much for listening tonight. I've had the pleasure to have Miss Megan here, Miss Megan Grant. Critical Miss, the Critical Miss. Think about what I'm saying, Miss Critical. Where can we find you again?
I am on Facebook, Instagram, and music's on Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play. All
videos on YouTube. Awesome videos on YouTube.
Yep.
And her next show is going to be, the Valentine's is your next show, right? Or do you have something sneaking up before that?
I have a show at Fakao on February 7th.
Right. During on the 7th.
Yeah, it's the memorial for some Jaywalkers, former drummer, Drew.
Yes.
And then I have February 14th at Time Out with Brian Whittle and all these wonderful people.
And everybody else. Well, thank you so much, hon. Before we go, guys, I would just like to thank you for listening. Make sure you support everybody. I want to give a shout out to everybody in the local scene tonight. And there's so many of you to mention, it would take another hour or so. But everybody listening tonight is very dear to us, and you guys are all part of the scene. And keep supporting everybody and keep kicking ass. So, darling, would you give us the honor and take us out tonight?
I am Critical Miss, and I have had a fucking awesome time on James C. Starke Radio.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you.
Make sure if you guys want to join the show, get your tunes on here. Give me a call, 623-910-0265, or shoot me a text. Again, that's 623-910-0265, and we have a new email now. jcsradio@yahoo.com. jcsradio@yahoo.com. Peace, you guys. You've been awesome. We are out of here.